on, guys? My name's Corey. Welcome to Tynka Time. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Hey, I had a lot of views, getting a lot of views on this build up here, so I've had some comments requesting a few things on it. I've had the bike for a couple weeks now and wringing the piss out of it. It's holding up actually fairly well. I love this bike a lot. It's a lot of torque, plenty of torque down low, and it's fast. So one of the comments on the last video was how to adjust the carburetor, because it's kind of a pain in the butt, and they're not the best carburetors that come on there. So what I did is I upgraded to the Mikuni carburetor, the VM22. I'll put the link below to that on eBay. It's 40 bucks, so not a big deal. Also did the angled, trying to think what it's called, like it's an angle fitting air filter, because the one that came on it, trash, don't use it. So I went to an aftermarket air filter. I changed the shifter, not the shifter, the kickstart lever, because when I was jumping it, that kickstart lever was like pressing into my ankle, and when I'd land, my ankle would hit it and bruising up my ankles and stuff. So I went to aftermarket one of those. So the carburetors on these things are so hard to adjust, and I'll show you what I bought for it to help with that. This thing's blew 2 tubes last weekend. I took 4 laps and went through 2 tubes. I went 2 laps, pulled off because I had a flat tire, changed the tube out, 2 more laps, and blew again. These things are known for the tube slipping inside of the tire, so and then it just shears the valve stem off of it. So I got some new tubes over here. I'm gonna be doing that. Spokes are super loose, so be sure to check your spokes on there after you ride, probably the first week of riding. Make sure you tighten those back up. But we're gonna go through this thing and show you kind of the upgrades I'm gonna do on it, and bring you guys along with me. All right, so first thing, here's the air filter I went with. It's a little dirty right now. I angled it up into the left side of the bike because it's so close to the exhaust. This air filter breathes a lot better. And this is the old one here, old carburetor and air filter. This air filter is junk, don't use it. Replace the carburetor, you'll get much more performance out of it. So you can see the gap we have between the exhaust due to that angled filter. This is a Mikuni carburetor. Some issues I'm having with it, like it don't come perfect from the factory. So there's a green stripe, if I can get my finger in there, right here. That's your air screw. That's how you adjust it. You do the fine tuning on it, and there's no way. I was trying to use this little bit here. It's kind of tight, so you can't get no grip on it. So I'll show you what I got for that. Here's my Kickstarter, fix that. But other than that, here's the flat tires. We're gonna pull that off, and let me show you what we got here. This is off Amazon. Let me get my phone here. Off Amazon, this is a quick adjust screw, so you don't have to get any tools or anything. This will just stick down far enough you can grab it with your fingers and turn it. So this is going to be a huge help, and I'll pull the carburetor off and show you guys how to install that. I would highly recommend getting one of these if you have an RFZ. This is a bead lock for your rear tire, or a rim lock, sorry. So it kind of just locks the tube in, don't let it spin, and locks your tire on the bead. And this is going to be super helpful, and this is going to fix our flat tire issues. This is a Motion Pro. Here's the part number and everything, 11-0010. We will have to drill into the rim to get this done, but this is going to save us a lot of money and a lot of time changing tires and tubes. So I ordered 2 back tubes just so I have a spare. It destroyed my rim strip. So this is the rubber piece that goes on the inside and protects your tube from the spokes. I ended up getting 3 of those. And then I got me a spare front tube as well. So, alright, here's a little better look of this air filter I got. It's got the angle fitting. I'll put the link to the air filter below. It's dirty right now. Bear with me. I'm going to clean it while it's off. Don't worry. So this is the carburetor that I put on it. Goonie. BM22. Nice carburetor, but it just runs so much better even out of the box. So I really like it. Way better than the junk that came on it. So this is what I bought to adjust the air screw to make it easier on us, to make sure that our engine's running as it should. You know, not too lean, not too rich. And this is kind of like a fine adjustment tool. So it's late tonight. I might be able to adjust it with you guys tonight, but if not, I'll do it in the morning. But you guys, it'll just jump to the next thing. This is your air screw here. This is on the bottom of the carburetor. In the very front, there's a stripe that they marked on it. So what you want to do is you want to run this thing in. If your bike's running decent now, you want to know how many turns this is out so you can put it back to that setting and then adjust from there. So that's awesome. My little drain tube is plugged with something. I might pull the bowl off and see what that is. Anyways, I'm gonna run this air screw in, and you can do it by however you want to. I'm just gonna do it by half turns. So it's at 1/2, 1, about 1 turn. And you don't want to tighten these down tight. You just want it until it bottoms out, and that's it. The tip, I can show you, is very fine, and you'll damage that tip. Doesn't really matter on this because we're replacing it, but so now that I know it was 1 turn out, I can pull this out. See how fine that tip is there. It's very fine, so you don't want to crank down on it. There should be your screw, a spring, a washer, and an O-ring in here. You just tip it upside down. And here's the spring, and the washer and O-ring are stuck together. I'm going to put these in a bag because I never know when I'm going to use them on something else. But you guys should be able to throw them away because your new one comes with everything you need. So just how mine came out of here. The washer and O-ring are already on here, but the spring has to go on before those two. So it'll tell you right here. There's an O-ring up here, which is just to keep it from, it's supposed to sit up in the in this little tunnel here, but ours ain't that long, so it's pretty much useless. I really hope this thing's gonna work since it's so long. So I'm just gonna pull this washer and O-ring out, and the springs have got to go first. This one comes with 2 washers for some reason. I guess 2 of them are stuck together, but it's gonna go spring first, and washer and O-ring. So pretty much the spring pushes down on the washer, and not directly on the O-ring so it don't damage it. So and you should just be able to run this thing in. So it bottoms out. And it bottomed out right there. And you just pick a number, really, wherever you want to reference. I'm going to reference this tube. It's just to the left of this tube here. So, and there's 4, it's 1 through 4 on here. So I want, if it was 1 turn out, I want to spin this around until the 1's back up here. So it's all the way down, seated, and I'll back it out. There's 3, 4, 1. Now that should get me pretty dang close to where I was with the old air screw in there. So this is going to be awesome because it's going to hang down and you can just reach under there and adjust as you need to. So I like it. I can dig it. So carburetor is good. I'm going to pull this bowl off. I'll do that off camera and see what's going on for this plugged hole here. So I'll do that, and I'll just spray the jets out while I'm in there. But next I'm going to be pulling off the tube and tire, and we'll start working on that rim. Figure why I had this apart, I would show you guys the inside of what the inside of the carburetor looks like. So you see our air screw we just put in. Right here's your main jet here. So this is what feeds the engine while you're riding. Anywhere from like, I think it's like a 1/4 throttle and up. And this is your idle jet here, the smaller one. If your bike sits up or something and it won't start after it's been sitting, pull this jet out right here, the smaller one. More than likely that one's plugged up because it's such a small passageway that that's really all it takes is just a little piece of dirt or a little piece of gum from old gas to clog that jet up, and more than likely that'll solve your problems. If your carburetor's leaking, if it's just sitting there leaking out the bottom of the overflow, more than likely it's this valve right here stuck. So if the bowl is empty, it allows fuel to come in. I'll flip it over. Fuel will be coming in through that passageway under that needle there. And then as the bowl fills up, this float raises and cuts the fuel supply off. So I have a pretty good carburetor video that I posted probably about a month or 2 ago, and it explains everything real good. So watch that video if you have any questions. But yeah, I'm gonna put this thing back together and get it back on the bike. Guys, I just want to show you what I found here. I coat my filters here in filter oil. I'll back you up so I can open my cabinet and I'll show you what I use. So this is what I coat my filters with. It's a Bel Ray filter oil. Pretty much you just spray the outside of the filter and it's really sticky. So it kind of traps dust good and dirt, keeps it from going inside your carburetor. But I was just, I was gonna throw this on so I could start it up for you guys, but look at your filters. So that filter's junk already because of the, there shouldn't be able to see a gap through there. It should be all sealed to that flange, and that's just gonna let dirt in. So I have another one, I'll throw it on there, but this one's trash. I took it off once, so as long as you don't mess with it too much. I was kind of rough putting it back on, but that's my fault. But they sent me 2 of them on accident, so I'm gonna use it. So I'll throw this filter on and get it on the bike. Alright guys, we got the pit bike warmed up here. See the adjustment screw hanging out down there. That's what we're going to be adjusting while we adjust the carburetor. And I tweak the settings a little bit just so I can show you guys how to do it here. if your jetting's correct, if you run that screw all the way in, it should kill the bike. And I tried it, and this one does. So same thing, if you back it out too much, it should kill the engine as well. So just look for that. And just to kind of go over the concept here, we're just going to try to find the point when we turn that screw when it makes the highest RPMs. So I'll turn the idle up on the carburetor on this side. We'll get the RPMs up, but we're just going to listen, slowly adjust it about an 8th turn at a time, and we're just going to listen for that highest RPM. So if you go all the way in with it and it dies, you back it all the way out and it dies, obviously it's somewhere right in the middle between them two. So I'm going to turn the idle up and we'll start adjusting. You don't want it too high. You want to be able to hear it when RPMs start to rise. RPMs are dropping, so I'm going to start backing it out now, and I'm just listening for the highest point. Adjuster, run it in until you hear the RPMs drop, and then start backing out. And if it starts dropping again from turning it out, you went too far. So just listen between those 2 points, your highest RPM, and you'll get the right setting. So let's just check our throttle response here. I like it. So if you want, maybe back the idle back down. After you're done adjusting, you just want to come back over here and adjust the idle until it's where you want it. Alright guys, I got the tire off. Be careful, your wheel bearing likes to fall out on this. For mine, it's just this one side. So be sure that you don't lose that. I was trying to fight, I thought it was my spokes popping my tube, so I taped over this real good when I popped my tire. And I switched the tube out, but you can see the valve stem right here. You just sheared off, so I need to pull this 12 millimeter nut off of the valve stem and pull that through, and I'm going to take this tape off and I'm going to go through and tighten all these spokes up because some of them are pretty loose. If you look in here, these are the ends of the spokes. If there's a gap there, your spoke's way too loose. They should all be touching and even all the way around. And then you have some on this side as well. You can see like this one here is sticking up. It's too loose. So I'm just going to go through and you just tighten them up. There goes that wheel bearing I was telling you about. Just tighten them up, and you don't want any, like, you shouldn't be able to move them like this. They should be nice and solid. So that's all I'm going to do, and then I'll check back in with you guys when I'm about to put this rim lock in. Alright guys, I went through and tightened all my spokes up. I just did like every third one, kept going all the way around. I flipped it over, did the other side. You don't want to get them so tight you break them, but you want them to be pretty tight. So I'm ready to put the rim strip on. It has a hole in it for the valve stem. So just find your valve stem hole. Looks like it's up top. And you just stretches around the rim there. This is just protecting your spokes from digging in, and protecting your tube rather from getting popped by your spokes. You might have to spin it to line it up perfectly with your valve stem hole. But that's it right there, and it just covers those spokes up. So next we're ready to put the, you just want to make sure they're all covered all the way around. We're ready to put the rim lock on. Find the hole again. So you want it to mount kind of like the valve stem hole does. You want it to mount, I'm probably going to offset at 90 degrees from the valve stem hole, but you want it to come through here between the spokes there, and it'll stick out, and it'll just, what it does, if I can find it, there it goes. You just all it does is it, let me pull it out of the package. So all it does, it goes inside of here, and when you're trying to put the tire on, make sure you guys can even see it. So when you're trying to put the tire on, you have to loosen this all the way up and push it up, because that tire is going to come around each side of this. And then when you tighten the nut up on here, it's going to pull down and lock that bead of that tire in place. So very helpful tool, and hopefully it solves our tube issues on this. So I guess I need to next get a drill bit the size of this and drill this perfectly good rim. I'm going to take that rubber back off. Actually, I didn't think that one through, but I'll take the rubber off, and then I'll make a hole in there for this as well. Alright, rim lock's in, guys. This is how it looks. It's that tire. If you can imagine, this is the tire. It's just going to fit right down in there. And when I tighten this up, sorry, you guys didn't see any of that. So if you can imagine, this is a tire here. It's going to fit right around it. And when I tighten this nut up down here, it's going to pull down and lock that tire into place. So hopefully that does the trick for us, and we can stop blowing tubes. So pretty easy. I just drilled a 5/16 hole in here. Put my valve stem hole in my rubber there, in my rim strip. Put that there, and then I found the hole, sliced it with a razor blade, and pushed it through. Pretty simple. So the hard part now is getting the tire on each side of this without pinching the tube. But just take your time. These tire spoons right here are amazing. They're not sharp, and they work really well. I'll put the link below if I remember, and to these as well. These are a must-have if you're going to be changing tires on these things. So All right, I decided not to do a time lapse because some of this stuff's pretty critical here. So what you do, you're gonna start out. I would recommend not putting your brake rotor on the ground. I always do my sprocket. I filled the tube up with a little air, just so it holds the shape of the tire there and it don't fold up. We risk pinching it. So I'm just gonna tuck it in to the tire here. You just want to look for any kinks or anything, like right here, little kink, so we'll try to work that out. Alright, so I always start with the valve stem towards my body here. And what I do, I just try to line it in the hole and push it through. Just enough to get this thread started here, or the nut started on the other side. So that gives us a good starting point. So as you can see, this is going to be in the way. So we got to go get this tire over it and kind of put the walls on the outside here, push up on this, reseat the sidewalls, and then tighten that down. So it'll be a little tricky, but we'll get through it. I always do. So try to get started here. I always use, well, you can use whatever. Some people use soap and water. You guys will probably start hating on me for using WD-40, but whatever. Just to kind of give it a little something to slide into place with. And I just run it along the outside there. I'll do both sides since we're going to be working both. Somebody's gonna say, "Oh, you got WD-40 on your brake rotor." I don't use my brakes anyway. Alright, so I'm gonna work on these spoons are curved a little bit, so you just don't want to wrench in on that tube there. So just be super careful, take your time, don't pinch anything, or you're going to be doing this all over again with a new tube. And that WD-40, I'm just pressing on it and giving it a little wiggle, and it's already sliding into place. So. Actually, I haven't done a bead lock in a while. I sold my RMZ 450, so I haven't really messed with it. Maybe I usually go from this side. Let's try that. That way I'm not risking pinching that tube. Yeah, that's the ticket right there. was using a lot of body weight and putting some MAN on it. Shout out to Nate Kipley for that one. But whoever commented on my video putting this thing together, talking about my armpits, that guy don't have any man in him, so you'll be screwed, buddy. You might as well go pay somebody to do this for you if you ain't got no armpit hair. Alright guys, that's it. It's all back together, ready to go. Hopefully this eliminated our pop in the tube issue. I'd really like to get more than 2 laps in tomorrow. Carburetor adjusted, you guys learned how to do that earlier. Got my air filter clean. So yeah, give me some comments. Let me know what you guys want to see on this. Any upgrades that you guys recommend that you want me to do on it. I'm pretty much open to whatever, because why not, I guess. Anything to make it faster or better, I want to do to it. So let me know, leave me a comment, and check out this awesome rippage that we're about to do. So this will be my outro. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Leave me a comment, because those are awesome, and I like reaching out to you guys and replying to you. And I taught a couple people how to do a couple things on my last video just through the comments. So that's awesome. I love doing that. Anything to help you guys. So make sure you subscribe, man, and leave a comment. And we'll see you guys next time.